Welcome back to MidPoint, and welcome back Senior Fellow with the Center for Advanced Defense Studies, former Lieutenant Colonel in the U.S. Army, Tony Shaffer. Lieutenant Colonel, Kobani is apparently on the verge of being taken by ISIS right on the Turkish border. There are those people say that this is absolutely imperative that Kobani not fall. Why is it so critical?
If this city is taken, it's going to give ISIS essentially basically a swath of land that is completely controlled by them from the Turkish border all the way into Baghdad, which, by the way, is, I think your audience probably is aware, Baghdad is essentially under siege right now by ISIS. So this gives them three things: a complete open terrain to govern and navigate on, a clear, unimpeded line of communication and logistics, and more importantly, a huge psychological victory. This shows that despite President Obama's claim that we're going to be pursuing them endlessly, constantly, we're not. And I think this tepid, dare I say, flaccid air campaign that's now ongoing is actually adding to their strength, the ISIS strength, by the fact that here we are trying to slow them down. And if this victory will show that we have not only slowed them down, they're not even bothered by it. And that's a huge psychological victory.
Fair to say, then, that if there are no troops on the ground here, and certainly there aren't going to be, this city's lost.
Absolutely. And I think that's where we're going with this, unfortunately.
It looks like we're heading there.
Well, the Turks have deployed forces along the border, but seem kind of happy to just sit there and watch things fall into chaos. So at this point in time, I'm at a complete loss of what the Turkish are trying to do. They've been heavily critical of us in our air campaign, and rightly so. I think there were 5 sorties yesterday against the elements in Kobani. And let me be clear on this. I said this on another channel, and I want to be very clear about this. The people who were living there, the Kurds, the Yazidis, the Assyrians, have all said, and I've talked to these folks on Capitol Hill, the people who are there suffering would rather see us bomb them and kill them rather than suffer beheading and raping by the ISIS terrorists. So we've got to get in there and do something. We've been asked to help. President Obama said we're going to help, yet we're really not helping, and I think it's unconscionable at this point in time.
Let's get on to Turkey. Their president, Recep Erdogan, said that Turkey will not get more deeply involved with the fight against ISIS unless the U.S. agrees to give greater support to the rebels trying to unseat Bashar al-Assad. It's not going to happen, is it?
No, it's not. A couple reasons. First, we cannot, let me be very clear, we cannot afford to leave Syria ungoverned. If you destabilize Syria further by taking out Assad, you have left a complete country left open, like we saw with Libya. I'd like to believe that we learned our lesson from Libya. Removing Gaddafi did not bring democracy, it brought chaos. It happened here. And now we know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, with Ansar al-Sharia and other al-Qaeda units taking over Libya, the same would happen here. So I was mortified today to see Senator Graham and Senator McCain put an editorial saying we must remove Assad. This is beyond insane. We know what the consequences will be, and we cannot support Turkey on this. With that said, Turkey has been riding the fence all along. Joe Biden was actually correct in his criticism of the Turkish government about the fact that they had a heavy hand in creating what we now call ISIS. So we have to figure out things going forward here, Ed. It may or may not be with the Turkish. It may or may not be with some senators who, frankly, are not thinking about the secondary and third order effects of what they're saying. We need to be smart here. We cannot afford to be just siding with people we know that long-term consequences will not be in the interest of our U.S. and allies or ourselves.
Do we need to just start looking at Turkey as one of the bad guys?
We have to think seriously about what our national objectives are, what is best for the region, who are still our true friends, like the Egyptians and Jordanians, and how to proceed. There may have to be some very difficult decisions coming up here, Ed. Unfortunately, Turkey has been with us through the Cold War. There may be changes coming that no one wants to have to face, but we may have to be effective.
All right, I got about a minute left. I need to ask you this
Sure.
as well. Pete Hoekstra from the former House Intelligence Committee was with us earlier. We talked about this report in the Sunday Times of London that ISIS is aiming to get a hold of nuclear weapons with the help of Russia, to whom it will offer access to gas fields in control of Iraq's Anbar province. In return, the Kremlin will give up Iran and its nuclear program and hand over its secrets. You're not buying this, are you?
I think it's science fiction, to be honest with you. With that said, there's no doubt that ISIS, like al-Qaeda, has always had a desire from its inception to have weapons of mass destruction. There's also rumors about ISIS trying to weaponize Ebola. Well, good luck with that. No, there's no doubt that the brainiacs in ISIS are looking at severe ways to kill us. With that said, the path you just outlined regarding the Russians is not realistic. The Russians will not trade away the Iranian relationship for something as obtuse as what is a partnership with ISIS. ISIS is not yet a state. That's something that may happen. I hope not. But no, the Russians understand what their objectives are for the region. It's influence. And ISIS would not be a good partner to them. With that said, there are folks out there who do have nuclear weapons who may be willing to sell ISIS a weapon or two. And the going rate on the black market, we've talked about this before, is about $400 million for a weapon. So I'm sure they're shopping. The question becomes, will someone sell it to them or not?
Vladimir Putin's crazy, but he's not that crazy, at least not
Not
yet.
that crazy.
Not yet. Lieutenant
Not
Colonel
yet.
Tony Shaffer, always a pleasure, my friend. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Ed.
All right,
Thank
later
you.
on this hour, certain companies cashing in on the Ebola crisis. This has nothing to do with drug companies. After the break, syndicated talker Jerry Doyle weighs in and brings the hammer on Democrats trying to escape the shadow of Barack Obama. It's on MidPoint, where we question everything.